everyone, and welcome back to A Mile in My Stilettos. I'm Crystal, and I'm excited because today I'm going to be talking about how to identify your marriage season. You guys, there is much more to being prepared and knowing that God is going to bring your spouse into your life than just wanting a spouse to be in your life. And so I'm going to be getting into that in this video, telling you 3 things that will be able to help you identify that you are actually ready and prepared to enter into your marriage season. So let's go ahead and let's jump into today's video. So first things first, you will know your purpose. And so I say that because it's very important to know what your purpose is. If you don't know why you're here in the earth, how can you say that you're committed to living that life connected to someone else? If you don't know your purpose, how can you know that this person is the right fit for you? And so one of the things that God is going to want to make sure is settled within you before he brings you a spouse is he's going to want to make sure that you know what your purpose is, okay? You don't want to just be going through life like, oh, I have this job, but I hate it. I do this, but I hate it. I'm doing that, but I hate it. Or you just feel like this sludge or this humdrum kind of attitude about the things that you're doing. That's not a reflection of living in purpose. Because again, if you do not know what your purpose is, one of the things that can do is unfortunately bring frustration to a marriage, and you want to make sure you have that settled and figured out before you actually get married. So that's sign number 1. Number 2, you will know the purpose that God has for you to be married. Yes, marriage is awesome. It brings lots of joy. It brings lots of fun. It brings companionship. There are a lot of great things that come with being married. But do you know all the reasons and the purpose that God wants you to be married? And that's something that you really want to ask God about, because if you don't know the purpose of a thing, you can abuse the thing. You can devalue the thing. You won't understand how the thing fits into who you are. And when you get married to somebody, that's definitely a fitting process, because you're conjoining 2 lives, 2 purposes, 2 people that are going to walk things out together till death do them part. And so for you and your spouse, till death do you part, when that day comes. And one of the ways to stay committed to that is to have an understanding of the purpose that God has for you being married. So you want to ask God, okay, if you put this desire here for me to be married, why? Why did you put this desire here? Having an understanding of that is second thing that you need to know to identify, is this your marriage season? Do you know that? Number 3, and I saved this one for last intentionally, you are whole. Now, I feel like people tell singles all the time, oh, you need to be whole. You don't want 2 halves come together to make a whole to be married and all sorts of stuff. But what does that actually mean? Like, what do you mean when you say you are whole? So I'm breaking this down into a couple different little points. And so starting off, one way that you know you're whole is you know your purpose. I already told you it's important to know your purpose if you feel like you're in your season for being able to get married. But not only do you know your purpose, you're carrying it out. Now, where you're carrying it out, how it looks like carrying out could be in so many different ways, but you're finding a way in your life every day, every week, all of that, to carry out the reason that you're here. You're already putting into practice what it looks like for you to walk out the obedience to the call of God in your life. So you don't just know, oh, I should be ministering to people. You're finding a way to actually do that, whether that's by sending nice text messages to people, whether that's by doing something like this, a YouTube channel, whether that's when you go to your job at a restaurant and you're a server and you're always making sure that you're showing the love of who God is, letting that shine through you. So I'm not saying you have to be at the vocation or the career that you think is a reflection of what your purpose is, but you're actively finding a way to pursue what your purpose is already. That's a sign of wholeness. The other part of being whole is you know and understand who God has created you to be, and you have a belief in that quality and that worth of yourself as an individual. You're not looking for someone to validate who you are, to validate that you're beautiful, to validate that you're worthy, to validate that you deserve love, to validate that you're smart, to validate that you have a purpose. You're not looking for validation, by getting married or to getting in a relationship, you already have an understanding of that because God has already put his stamp on your life and already validated that for you. And so I don't know if anybody watching this video needs to hear this right now, but I don't care how many times you've been rejected. I don't care how many times you felt like you weren't good enough because some relationship didn't work out. I want you to know you are valuable. You are worthy of love. You are worth something. You are worth something to God. You matter, and he created you because you are valuable. And so you have to know that. The validation starts from coming within, not entering into a relationship to confirm that. You don't need a relationship to confirm your validation. You are validated. The other thing is you're not trying to prove anything to any of your exes. And by this, I mean, you're not like, you find out one of your exes is going to be somewhere and you're like, oh, let me make sure I look cute so that if they see me, they see that I'm looking good and I'm doing good. You could care less. You could care less if they see you, if they don't see you, what they think when they do see you. You're not wrapped up and carried about any of those things. You truly moved on from whatever is in your past. That is a sign of wholeness. That is a sign of being ready to enter into a new relationship. You're not still hung up on anything that happened in the past. And like I said, being hung up includes you trying to see if they checking for you, checking your social media pages. You're still checking their social media pages, trying to make sure that they see that you're doing good. I could care less. If any ex that I have thinks I'm doing good, doing bad, or any way in between, I could care less. Genuinely care less. And so that's a space that you want to make sure that you're in to be able to, again, help you identify, am I really ready to enter into a season of marriage? And the last thing that I would say is you are attracting quality men. Quality prospects. Now, I did another video with Ricky where we talked about how to attract more high quality, better men as prospects for you to get married to. And one of the things I said is you're going to attract who you are. And so one of the ways that you know that you are whole is you're attracting quality relationships. And I don't just actually mean as far as romantic relationships, but even friendships. You're attracting friends that are honest, friends that are loyal, friends that are reliable. You're attracting quality relationships to you. That's one of the signs that you are whole. The type of relationships that surround you, people that want to engage with you in conversation, spend time with you in your presence. When you are a whole individual, people are attracted to that. And not just people, but good quality people. And especially when you're talking about a romantic relationship, you want to be able to attract good quality men. And so one of the ways that you know you're kind of entering into that season where, okay, God might be setting me up, he might be about to send the person, is if you're actually attracting quality individuals that are even trying to pursue you. So those were just a quick couple of tips to help you identify if you're actually in your premarital season, because again, it starts with a desire. Desire is important, but these other things are very key to know if it's beyond just a desire that you have and God has actually prepared you to enter into and is preparing you to be able to enter into this season of, okay, now start looking for your husband because he's probably about to pop up. And just a little note about me, I actually had the desire to get married 2 years before I met my husband. I remember it like it was yesterday where I was sitting in everything. And I just told God, I was like, God, like, I'm going to keep doing everything you want me to do, living for you, all of that. I'm going to do what I'm called to do. But I don't want to keep doing this by myself. Like, I'm just letting you know, God. Like, either way, I'm going to do what you want me to do, but I don't want to keep doing this by myself. And so that was something that I said to God. He heard my heart's cry. He knew that heart cry was coming. And like I said, from there though, it was still 2 years before I actually met my husband. And that's because there were things he needed to work through in me. The desire was there, yes, but there were some things with the wholeness factor that he really needed to work on. There was the explanation of purpose, me truly, deeply understanding more about my purpose that had to come through. There was me understanding the purpose of me being married that he needed to make sure I had a grasp and a full understanding of. So when he brought me into the union, I would be latched on and attached until death do us part. And so, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found these tips helpful so you can just kind of take an inventory of where you are. Am I whole? Do I understand the purpose of me being married beyond just the desire of being married? Do you understand these various things to be able to say, okay, yeah, I'm checking all these off the box. So, God, you might be really about to send me somebody. This might really be my marriage season. Or can you say, okay, I know I need to work on some of these things or figure some of these things out. So although I desire marriage, let me get through these things, because I know without getting through these things, people may approach me, but it's probably not the person that God is trying to send to me, because there are certain things he's going to want in order before he puts you into union with someone else. And that's a big thing. I'm not saying you can't just find a man somewhere, but I believe I'm speaking to women who are godly women, who are women with standards, who want to make sure they're being put into a union that God is putting together. And so all the tips on this channel revolve around that. If you enjoy getting these kind of tips, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check out some of the other videos if you haven't already. How I married my husband in just 9 months. Single to married in just 9 months. You guys, make sure you check that video out on the channel, as well as the others. Hit that subscribe button, and until next time.